Hi, welcome back to Studio Tamera, the Mystical Paintress. Today we are in Kensington painting this scene out here. There is our scene. So we are going to do a quick sketch in our book, block it in on our board. Got a shade buddy to keep the sun off of the palette and the board. Here we go. Here is a quick sketch. So as you can see, I have drawn up a basic thumbnail sketch, and now I will draw it on the board. I like to put my little book right here so that I have something for reference. And then right away decide where your horizon line is. And you can't, you don't want it right in the middle. So I have it kind of in the middle in my drawing. I think I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. So my Dexter Plein Air Festival board. So I'm going to just really quick block this in. I have a good opportunity because today the group is not over here by me. So even though it's a regular Saturday, I can actually do a video. So we're gonna make our horizon line right about here. Yeah, that's good. And then the left side is darker. Actually, it's lighter. The right side's darker. So because it's darker, we're gonna put dark here. We're gonna cover up this Plein Air Festival stamp. That was a great festival. Well, I got 2 first place ribbons. That was surreal. Crazy. Okay, the hard part's done. Okay, the distant greens, darker here, lighter here. So it needs to be mirrored below. So this same color would be below here. All the way down. So I'm gonna use a little terp. This is just sap green and cad yellow. Just want to get some of that color into here. You got to be careful because when we do the center section, we have to reflect what's below with what's above. So we don't want to just block all of that in without doing that reflection first. But we do want to establish our darkest dark. Darkest darks are on the right, and it's going to get lighter as it goes over to the left. So we've got darker here and lighter there. The more we go to the right, the lighter the water's going to get. So we're going to add more cadmium yellow as we go to the left. So what I am doing now is I am suggesting in where these boats are on this far tree line, because we need to establish where the boats are before we do that water line. We don't want to put, I'm just going to kind of block some of these boats in real rough because it's hard to see. So we're going to leave a little bit of the underpainting, a little bit of the white. And then we'll come up in between some of these boats. And as we come up, we're going to leave a couple areas here that are like the top of the sails. So what we want to do is just create the illusion that we have these boats here. And the way to do that, of course, is suggesting in what is far away. Okay, it's like that. Now I'm just putting a little lighter green in here, suggesting some of these far trees. Just suggesting, not overdoing it. You put too much, all of a sudden it won't make sense. There. Once you've established your darks and your lights, this area, we're going to probably refine it, but we need to put what's above below. So I'm adding a little white to my green mix here. Sap green, cad yellow, a little white. And that'll just kind of lighten this up some. Things also in reflection of water are lower. They go further down than what we see. So so if it's like a ½ inch here, it could be 1.5 inches, 2 inches below. It's just how it works. If you study, just look at reflections in water. Spend some time looking at them. It's pretty amazing. Water is a lot of fun to paint. I love to paint water. Put a little bit more of the white in. And I am painting what is called alla prima, which means all one session, plein air outdoors, wet on wet. You've kind of got to get used to this, so practice, practice, practice. But you kind of already can see, by the way water goes flat, but you can kind of already see the basic idea that I have for this painting when you step back and you zoom in over there. Fun, fun. Our next step here, boy, there's a lot of vehicles and people coming because there's a beach down there. But our next step here is we are refining some of the water between, good morning, between the boats and the reflection. You need to refine this, and you need to be very bold with your strokes. I know right now this doesn't look like much, but we're getting there. And it's a dance, you know, you work in and out. Right now I'm only using greens. Try to keep it soft other than where my subject is. I see the bank over there is much lighter, so I want to get a light color. I'm going to mix a little yellow ochre, Naples, cad yellow light. This is an experimental mix, by the way, not one I use often. But I want to get a nice light ground color that's not so light it's not believable. There. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We do have some light coming in on that hill back there. We need a little sand, which would be maybe a little sienna and a little bit of Naples. Oh no, I'm gonna try and keep this more to the green. There, that's good, because I just sometimes want to suggest things far away, but not necessarily spell it out, meaning, you know, I want to let the viewer's eye create some of this. So that's the best way to do that. I think I'd like to put that bird in up there. Ooh, perfect. He's going right above. So I'm wanting to focus now that I've kind of established my greens, my reflections. I'll do some water lines across, but what I really want to kind of focus on right now are these boats and the lights hitting them from this side. So I'm gonna get some straight white. Oh, I hear the sandhill cranes. they are. Little dinosaur bird. So I'm just going to, wow, the sun's really bright over there. So I'm gonna put a couple really white, just straight white lines. You have to be confident, put them in. But if you put one above, you gotta put one below. So we got this. Be careful also not to get your white too caught up in with your other colors. So we're just gonna put white on a couple spots here. And the rest, we're gonna do more of a kind of a cream color. So this one's real white right here, which means down below it's gotta be real white right here. We're creating an illusion. That's all we're doing. Just creating an illusion of a boat. And that's it. Okay. Never underestimate the power of a woman with brush and palette. One of the biggest mistakes new painters make is trying to paint in every detail. So if I paint this to look like a boat and I put a little boat in each one of these, it isn't going to look like boats far away. It's not going to look right at all. So I'm going to mix a little burnt umber and ultramarine blue, and I'm going to look across and just wherever I see, let's see, like I see a little dot here, I see a little dot here and here, and just kind of put in what you see back here. Our next thing we're going to put in is the reflection of the sky right in front of the boats. So in order to do a little detail on this building here, we're really just suggesting. We're just suggesting because it's so far away, and this is not a studio painting, this is a plein air painting. So we're just trying to capture the suggestion of far away. The only really way to do that effectively is not have a lot of detail. So we are going to put some highlights in. Future Painters of America, those little kiddos stopped me to inquire, and they're going to be our future painters. All right, so we're gonna do sky reflection and then a few masts, and we're gonna leave it because this is just a plein air study. I loaded my brush with a nice blue sky color, whatever color you like, and then you dip it in the terp and very lightly go right over the water. It's starting to get busy here, so I'm gonna be interrupted a lot, but just keep working. Might be too much, but there is a lot of these ripples in the water, and if you have too many and you don't like them, you can always take a little green and brown in there and you can correct these like this. Remember, water always runs flat, so if your ripples are crooked, and I did this on purpose to teach you, you can just very quickly correct them. They must always run flat and not up and down and crooked. So we're going to load one side of our palette knife here, like so. And then we're going to just touch it. If it doesn't run real good for you, dip it in your turp, but just one side load and real light, very light. We're just trying to get a little something on top of the water here. Palette knife work is something you have to practice at home ahead of time, and for these sales it has to be precise. So you only can load one side of your knife. When the palette knife goes down, you literally touch it and leave it, and that's it. And you can't overwork that or it won't look right. Remember, whatever's above has to be reflected below. Also, you don't want to do every single sail, because if you do every single sail white, then none of them will stand out. So the most important thing to do is just pick a few of them that you want to stand out. Make sure you've only loaded one end of your knife, and then just very carefully place that down, and there it is, and that's how you do it. If you're real brave and you want to suggest a few people, I recommend just get a little tiny bit of something on your brush and just like barely suggest them. Even then it might be too much. But we're almost done. Well, hi guys. You my painting critics today? Hi, baby. I'm pretty happy with this painting. I think it's good. I think I'm going to sign it, call it done. I like it. One of the questions I get asked very often is, how do you know when a painting's done? Well, if you look at the painting and there's nothing really else you want to do to it, it's done. So I would say this painting's done. Last thing that you've got to do when you do a painting is your signature. Practice this at home so it becomes super easy when you're out in the field. This is a 0 size brush, and I always sign my name in red, even though everybody says not to. But you use a little bit of turpentine to get the paint to flow. And then after you've figured that out, just decide where you want to put your signature. And if you've done your signature enough, you should be able to very quickly do your signature at the bottom of your painting or the top or wherever you want. I don't think you should have any rules on how you sign a painting. And there it is, all done. So thank you for tuning into my show today. Hope you ended up with a great painting. And thank you to all my Patreon subscribers. Thank you to all my subscribers on YouTube. Thank you to everyone who buys my book and the students that take my classes. I will be teaching at the Northville Art House October 1st. My book is available on Amazon, and a lot of these paintings are on my Etsy shop, Studio Tamera. So paint on. You can paint. Have a great day. Bye.